yet. He says, remember that temptation does not come from God. Remember that temptation to do evil does not come from God. And you may be wondering, why would he need to remind us of this? Well, it is because sometimes when we're facing difficulties in our life, sometimes when we're sick, sometimes when the bad things happen to us, like tragedies and accidents, sometimes when people that we love and care about, when they're sick or when bad things happen to them, we start wondering, and I hear this a lot from people, why is God doing this to me? Does God do bad things to us? No. This is what St. James is reminding us today. Do not say, I am being tempted by God, for God is not subject to temptation to evil. He himself tempts no one. So where does temptation come from? Because we all experience it, even on a daily basis. The church reminds us where true temptation to evil comes from. Temptation, first and foremost, comes from the devil. The devil is the source of temptation. But he is not to blame all the time now that our world has been affected by sin. But the devil definitely is a possible source of temptation. The second source of temptation is this world we live in. And when I say the world we live in, I'm talking about the environment and our surroundings, which includes other people. It includes TV. It includes the internet. Sometimes things pop up on the internet that you're not supposed to see, and they shouldn't have sent us, but they do because they're trying to tempt you. So the world tempts us, and the world includes everybody in it. So there's other people who tempt you. So we have to be careful about that. And the last source of temptation that we experience is, unfortunately, ourselves. Sometimes we ourselves tempt ourselves to do bad things. So God is not the one to blame when we suffer temptations to do evil in our life. You have to know where these temptations come from so you can properly fight against them. Whether these temptations are coming from the devil, if they're coming from the world, or if they're coming from yourself. Tomorrow we begin the solemn season of Lent. And the reason why we have the next 40 days is it's a spiritual exercise. Think of it as a spiritual exercise plan that God has given to us through the church to help us grow stronger and more fit to fight against the temptations of the devil, the world, and ourselves. And to fight against the temptations of the world, the devil, and ourselves, the Lord has given us 3 things to focus on to help us grow stronger. And that's prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, doing charitable actions. And so we will spend the next 40 days concentrating on intense prayer so that as we grow closer to God, it'll be easier to fight against the devil, the world, and ourselves. And we will concentrate on fasting, giving things up that we like, and giving up things that aren't good for us in our bodies and our souls. And that will help us fight against the temptations of the world and ourselves. and to focus on being more loving, being charitable by doing kind and good things for other people. And that will help us fight against thinking of ourselves all the time. And so I'm very glad that the church gave us this particular reading today, the last day before the Lenten season, to remind us of what the spiritual plan is going to be for the upcoming 40 days. To remember that temptation does not come from God. Absolutely not. God never tempts us to do bad things. So who tempts us to do bad things? It's the devil, it's the world, and it's sometimes ourselves. But we are going to have some spiritual tools to help us. But these spiritual tools will only work if you actually use them and practice them. Prayer, fasting, and almsgiving.